Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to Cyberweek 2021, the 23rd Cyberweek. My name is Noam Ebner. I'm from Creighton University. Creighton University used to host Cyberweek for a few Cyberweeks in the 2010s on our platform, adrhub.com. Since then, we've stopped and the conference has moved on to other platforms and finally to odr.info. But somehow, the organizing team got stuck with me. And so I'm representing here on behalf of the organizing team of Cyberweek 2021, Colin Rule, Leah Wing, and Dan Rainey and myself. And we're very, very happy to have you here with us. And hi, everybody who's joining us in. From the very beginning, my very first Cyberweek, I recognized this as the best place to come to be immersed for our first time or for our 100th time in ODR. It's the best place to just reach out and touch everybody involved in the field. Everybody is very, very accessible at this conference. So I urge anyone here for the first time or however many times to just reach out and do it. And what better example than the opportunity to reach out and connect with the people who have been there and done everything that there is to do in ODR. And while Alberto and Maria Victoria's work is most identified with South America, with Latin America, their impact is by no means limited to a geographical or cultural or lingual area. They have helped develop ODR far, far beyond what it would have been without them. So with the briefest of all introductions, and then I'll let them introduce any other aspects that might be important for considering today's conversation. Alberto, as I said, has done everything that is to be done in ODR, developed ODR across Latin and South America, and any effort of mine to give the details of that would fall short. And in fact, I think it would be very honest to say that for that reason, Latin and South America might just be the most developed region in ODR that there is. Maria Victoria has done a lot of work on both ADR and ODR, working in South America, particularly in Argentina, with teaching universities, working with courts, with bar associations, and more as they see fit to share with us. So without further ado, welcome to Cyberweek, everybody. Welcome to Cyberweek, Maria Victoria and Alberto. Thank you so much for being here and also for bringing this very special topic to the conference. All yours.
Okay, Noam, you know that we are familiar. I'm very happy to be the one who introduced. We have the boss here, directly from Boston, and my good friend Bill Waters also. I'm very happy to have you both here. And the reason, because Maria Victoria and myself, we are sitting here, is because Ethan one day dreamed with online dispute resolution in a way to build a peace in the digital era, as I said. Well, I'm working in ODR from 2005. Just follow what happened in Massachusetts until I meet the fellows in Haifa in Israel 2009. And I meet you in Haifa in 2009. And the day after my presentation, at that time, I didn't have any info. I couldn't say nothing regarding ODR because we have zero in the region. The following day, Ethan tell me that why I don't organize 2010 Tango and ODR in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And I'm a little bit crazy and I did it. And well, this was the first and the last opportunity where the forum was in other language than English, because it was the only time that it was run in Spanish. Well, that's as an introduction, and I'm very happy to be with Maria Victoria here. We split our presentation. I will start at the beginning, just giving a frame at what we are doing in the region of ODR of a public policy with free access to the citizens. Okay, that's the focus that I will talk today, basically because we are developing and working with courts and Minister of Justice from 2012 up to date, mobilizing the ideas of ODR. And today, when everybody talks about ODR, because they jump 1 year and a half into the ODR business, because they're for only one reason, because they want to try to keep making some money from the mediator profession, because that's what they do. Not because they believe that this is the time to, include technology in their regular practice. It was a matter of money, in spite of all other statements that you can say. It was basically a reason for survival. From the point of view of what we are doing here in the university, where Maria Victoria also worked, we have an ADR underdegree program from 2004 here in Argentina at the National University of 3 de Febrero. And as from 4 years, we have a postgraduate training in ODR. But the good news is at the beginning of 2001, my boss, which you know my boss, she's Elisavetsky, because she's the director of our degree at the university, obtained the authorization from the Minister of Justice and Education to include in our syllabus ODR as a regular subject. We are teaching ODR, and we are the ones that, and only that we are teaching ODR in university as a one semester subject. Even though on-site, because we have our degree split in on-site and distance, okay? We have students, because it's a national university, they study for free if they walk into the university, okay? And all other students from different places of our country, in online version, the online version has a fee, has a monthly fee in order to study. And we are very happy with what we are doing, because we have this cyber mediation 1 year program. We have 2 promotions already, and ODR as a standard subject. And this is the result of a long period that we are working. Okay, ODR Latin America, okay? Created in 2005. It's a non-profit social network with 6,000 members, maybe with 100 actives, and the other 5,900 just viewers or watchers or something, but we have a high presence in the region. Okay, today we will be just talking about one issue regarding ODR in developing countries. And ODR in developing countries basically means build a bridge in order to facilitate access to the people who doesn't have access to technology, basically, because we are not aiming with the people who has the last iPhone 20. We're aiming the people who has a very old cell phone or not cell phone. And we start in one province in the north of our country, Salta, at the beginning of 2012, Maria Victoria will tell later about this, but just we have Ethan here, 1996, Professor Ethan Katz, founder of the Center of Information Technology and Dispute Resolution, located at Massachusetts University Amherst, focused in the development of online dispute resolution. At this time, when I met the fellows and came back to Argentina, everybody thought that I was completely crazy. And nobody wanted to hear or listen about the possibility to mediate screen to screen instead of face to face. And just a general overview of what we approach this, because the advantage from our point of view is the convenience, time, place, fast economics, and the disadvantage, certain degree of informatic knowledge, equipment, antivirus, training, communication, not face-to-face, and adapt the legislation in each country, nation, or state. We have in the region, the best example is Brazil. Brazil, in its mediation law from year 2015, I was involved in writing the law because the master of the mediation in the Supreme Court in Brazil was my student at the University in Buenos Aires. And when he was my student, I didn't know that he was the man in charge in set up mediation in Brazil. He was asking and asking and asking questions all the class regarding ODR. And I was absolutely boring and fed up. And he gave me his business card when I finished with my class. I just put it in the pocket and I forget about him. And 15 days later, I received an email from the Federal Supreme Court from Brazil, from Ministro Marco Aurelio Gastaldi Bussi, inviting me to go to Rio de Janeiro in order to present at the Global Mediation Rio 2014. And I start talking about ODR in front of 600 participants, and more or less 590 do this. Absolutely disgusting with what I was saying. Luckily, Alicia was moderating my presentation, and when I finished, he said, but because of your faces, I realized that you don't understand the possibility, you don't believe in the possibility to solve conflict through internet communication, through ODR. But if it is possible, fall in love through internet, why we cannot think about solve a conflict? And in this moment, perhaps the people start thinking about his own life, and this idea of if you can fall in love through internet, why not solve a conflict? Well, as from this conference, article number 46 of the Mediation Law of Brazil, year 2015, says, conflict could be solved through internet or other communication method. The only requirement is the party which is living abroad should accept the result of the Brazilian mediation law. And with that, Brazil starts the path in Latin America to include ODR inside their law. In Argentina, we have this in our law after 2012 in Salta, where was accepted by a decree co-mediation, online co-mediation. In 2012, we used the co-mediation basically because the mediator were public employees, and we used them in order to validate identity because we didn't think at that time about face recognition, and the mediator who belongs to the government said that Maria is Maria in this place, and the other is John because he verified the identity, and also at that time they sign the agreement, keep it, the mediator agreement, and put it in an envelope and send it to the other city. And he was waiting also the other agreement signed with one party reaching its office. And that was the way that we started. And it was a decree number 118, year 2012, which all the story of what's happening in Latin America is here in my book, Mediation Under the Light of the New Technology, where we posted all the regulation created in our area regarding online dispute resolution as from the beginning. And part of the resistance from the last year was basically related with, we talk about one Spanish author, Antonio Machado. He said, all that is ignored will be despised, okay? And this is the idea. You don't want something, but basically you ignore, and you don't want to be involved in this because you ignore. And you said, I don't want this because I don't have any idea of what is this meaning. We focus basically in part of our business, more than our business, because it's not a business, in part of ODR Latin America action, which is basically a pro bono action. It's because we do business in training in order to get money to support our pro bono activities. We don't receive any public funding, and we decided to keep in this way because we don't want any political influence in our activity. We don't advertise any books or activities. We only promote free training activities, okay? But we have our own activities. We train basically in ODR, and with the money what we make, we support the our action. Of course, we have to pay the teachers, no, the professors. And the idea is basically try to avoid discrimination, lack of support, stability, and provide resources for advice. And the most successful case that we have, this is the idea, real samples. A humble person could approach the mediation office in her neighborhood with the necessary equipment to perform online mediation. If the person don't have the technology, he approached the city hall office in order to sit down with the mediator. We have, we started in Buenos Aires City year 2017 with online community mediation. The government of Buenos Aires is a city with 3 million inhabitants, plus 8 million who walk in and out every day from the suburbs. We start with the program in a pilot plan offering 3 feasibility to make mediation. First, it's one party without access to technology sitting together with the mediator, and for example, the owner of his apartment living in France or in Spain, he is alone. Of course, he has to accept and understand that he is alone, okay, and the other party is sitting together with the mediator. Because in Salta, we did co-mediation online. In Buenos Aires, we started with mediation online, okay? Online mediation. Only one mediator for 3 possibilities. Okay, the 3 possibilities are the parties and the mediator, the 3 of them online. The second is the example that I just told, okay? one party with the mediator without technology and the other party alone in Europe, for example. And the third feasibility is if the parties are willing to sit down together and they have the possibility to sit down together and they have a lack of technology, they go to a government office, they sit down together with a clerk helping them with the technology, and the mediator is online, because that's happened usually in times of vacation when the government, they don't have enough amount of mediator to move through the 15 offices that they have in the city. The example of the mediation done with people living in Europe, owner of the apartments and parties here in Buenos Aires was very successful. A lot of cases that we never think that could be solved were solved. I think that the most important fact of this is, now I will finish this and I will pass the voice to Maria Victoria. The most successful issue that we have with the MEL, Mediación en Línea, this is the name of the program in the Buenos Aires city, and by the way, later I will show a small video. And this is free for the citizen, which is very important. It's a public service. Before the pandemic, the government processed 10,000 mediations per year, and 30%, 30, were online. When the pandemic showed up, it was very easy from the government move to 100% online mediation, and it was a tremendous political success, because they were completely prepared. We trained ODR Latin America, we trained the mediator, provide the software, analyze the new situation, and they didn't suffer any problem with the mediation area, because they processed all the cases that they were prepared to be face-to-face, were also included in the online mediation service. And they are very happy with, because as I always say, the technology was there, nobody wanted to take it. Basically the governments, because they are reluctant to do it. Even though we have a lot of problems regarding software, regarding confidentiality, in the case of the government of Buenos Aires, they bought the rooms, which is, we used to use Samba with them at the beginning, which is another video conference platform. And now we are working in a full platform, starting from the file and ending with the electronic signature, similar to a lot of them that are walking around the world. Bueno, María Victoria, te paso la posta.
Gracias, Alberto. Thanks. It is a pleasure to me to be here with Professor Alberto Elisavetsky. Thanks, Noam, and it's an honor to share this space with Professor Izankach. I have to say that I am working in ODR from 2009. I found Mr. Elisavetsky at the Cyberweek chapter Spanish in this year. From this year, I began to understand the qualities of ODR, and I have studied a lot, and I am so happy to understand what ODR means to to the world that we have to live nowadays. We in ODR Latin America had a big experience with the possibility to teach about ODR. For example, Professor Elisavetsky, before COVID-19 pandemic situation, we are working a lot in Mexico and in Brazil. In Mexico, in different parts of the country, as Guanajuato, Tamaulipas, etc. And for many years in this country, they could understand what ODR mean, and they worked on specific regulations. It was a very important point. Then in Brazil, as Alberto told recently, in 2014, with his work, he could inspire the government persons that work at the government, and they could develop a law project of non-judicial mediation in Brazil. During COVID-19 pandemic situation, in ODR Latin America, we were training a lot of professionals in 2020. We have to say that we began with Spain, then we were working with different countries in Latin America. We were working in 2020 trying to teach what ODR are. And Spain, Ecuador, Mexico, Costa Rica, Peru, Chile, Brazil, Argentina have today 3,000 mediators trained. I have to say that, for example, in Spain, the people who learn about ODR, now they are e-mediators. They have organized all their work in laboral rights, rights of work.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me put another, Maria Victoria.
Yes, yes.
In Spain, they have a government project which is labor mediation. Okay, and in March 2020, from the Loyola Andalusia University called us because they want to train immediately a group of labor mediators because they had a lot of strike as a consequence of the pandemic and the lockdowns. And in February, March 2020, we trained 80 labor mediators from the Spanish government, and they reached their first online agreement April the 1st, 2020. The name of the organization is CERCLA. Today, they are now evangelizers, and they are training in ODR the rest of the colleagues in Spain. Sorry, Maria Victoria.
Yes, of course. It's okay. And the same is Ecuador. Now in Ecuador, all the persons who we trained in 2020, they now are training another people and evangelize, as say Alberto, another professionals. This is as a acknowledged chain that we are proud because of it changed that began with ODR Latin America in 2020. Costa Rica, Peru, in Chile, it was so important because the education ministry asked for training for their conflict operators, and they are working now with a high performance in his area. And
if you allow me 1 minute, Maria Victoria, I would like
yes.
to put a small video
Yes.
about mediation as a public policy in Buenos Aires City. Hold on, please. I apologize that the video was in Spanish, but with a very nice tango. But the idea is to share with you which is the way that the government of the most important city of our country is telling its citizens that there is a possibility of doing mediation free of charge as from the government. And now they are in love with online dispute resolution, even though we are not happy with the idea that everybody thinks in our region that ODR is Zoom, okay? But that will be the next step. Talking about blockchain, artificial intelligence, smart contract, big data, all the issues that the most important universities and groups are thinking about. Now we are happy that we reach an important level with the idea of sole conference guideline, and we are happy that the several provinces are able to help their citizens, providing a kind of ODR. With the problem with the signature, with the problem with the identity, with the problem with the files, a lot of barriers. And also with the problem that some of the governments tell to the mediator, if you want to mediate online, you have to bring your own mediation room, which is absolutely unfair, but it's what we have now. We hope that in the future, the courts will have the software inside their network, because today, the problem from my point of view is the data protection, the citizen data protection, on the information about our citizens is in the hands of Zoom, which is a very bad situation from the government, because he is responsible to protect the data of the citizen. When everybody jumps into Zoom, Teams, WebEx, we are, as a government, providing the email addresses of our citizens to someone who is the owner of the platform with this. But in order to go through this narrow door, everybody is jumping what they have on hand, which is not the best way to do it. Well, just a reminder that I said before, 2012 Salta, north of the country, 2015 Córdoba, middle of the country, 2015, it was the first time that we have been allowed for the mediation direction of the Minister of Justice to train their mediators. Supreme Court of Mendoza, Buenos Aires, Neuquén, Córdoba, and this is the program. Basically, we are now focusing in the way of life of the mediators, trying to provide a professional field. When I travel around the world, most of the mediators say, I don't make money with mediation. I make money with my profession, and for them, sometimes it's a hobby. And a hobby that they love. But basically in Latin America, we have the problem that the mediation more or less is under the courts, and the courts or the Bars Association. And the Bars Association, they don't want that the mediator get their independence and create an organization which provide an umbrella for the mediators, okay? They just keep the mediators, because 70% of the mediators in the region are lawyers. They want to keep it as a lawyer who also mediate, which is an approach, a corporative approach, okay, from the Bars Association. And it's difficult for a lawyer to try to broken chain and go and collaborate in a mediation counseling or organization, because they will have problems with their profession. I think we are in the process, and we are trying now to search how many non-lawyer mediators we have in the region, because there are a lot of. Why? Because lawyers make money basically with the training and tell everybody that they could jump into a new profession. Which is the new profession? Mediation. And you have tons of mediators, non-lawyers, not able to mediate because the regulation do not allow them to do this. And we are pushing to create a critical mass in order to show the authorities that we have a lot of people who has the skills to mediate, psychologists, CPAs, engineers, but they are not any they are not under any umbrella, and they are not able to work for a profession, okay, for a profession of an ADR practitioner. And I think we are now walking through this border. We are very successful in school mediation. We are very successful now because there is a law against the bullying and the domestic violence. Also, we are working in no face-to-face meeting in a pilot program in order to do, let's say, online meetings in cases of domestic violence, okay? Even though if the party lives in the same city, we are trying to provide this. Of course, we are far away. We have one very brand new artificial intelligence program belonging to the Ministerio Público Fiscal. The name of this program is, I don't remember, what's the name, Maria Victoria? Prometea, sorry. Prometea, the name, and the Prometea is able to review tons of files and to create a resolution in a second. The problem that we have is the legislation do not allow an artificial intelligence program to generate a resolution regarding this kind of cases. Okay, we have the technology. The technology is nearby. The technology should be cheap. And now, when I said, or when Maria Victoria was when in our courses, do you know what is ODR? Everybody said online dispute resolution. 10 years ago, nobody said this is online dispute resolution. I don't know what is ODR. And this is part of our evangelization process. Now we think, and we tell our students, we have a lot of students from the region, that ODRs means, like say, Gillette instead of a shaving machine, okay? Because ODR is a brand. Even though 80% of the mediators don't speak English in our region, when you said ODR and you said online dispute resolution, ADR replace the A for the O and create a new field. Now, most of the practitioners clearly understand that what is ODR, what is the meaning, and we are trying to move them into the platforms, okay, into the software, allowing them to understand that you have a platform like Next Level Mediation, CREC. I don't know why this platform, the name is CREC, but I have some idea. Or ODR Plat. Also, we are heavily involved in the Green Pledge for Mediators, okay, in order to promote, let's say, in order to fight with the climate change. More or less, we are on the day. No? I don't know if Maria Victoria, if you want to add something to this.
No, only I wanted to say that we in our country on 2020 we could teach about ODR because of you are telling us recently. 10 years ago, nobody want to hear about ODR. When I wanted to explain, I am working with ODR, and what is ODR? Well, I explain, and no, I have no interest. And I felt myself as ET, people could think that my spaceship were at the street, because nobody know what were ODRs, and nobody wanted to hear about ODR. This was the fact.
You know that
And
I
now-
was banned in one university to talk about ODR.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
This is the important.
and the dean told me, please,
Yes.
stop talking about that stupid issue. About you can talk about teach whatever you want. Less ODR. Yeah. Oh, okay. My friend Bill Waters is raising his hand. Yes, Bill. I love to hear you.
I'm so happy to be learning about 3,000 e-mediators being trained and about the degree programming at the university teaching. So much good work happening. I was reminded of, you mentioned the problem of people coming to the courthouse to have technology so they can participate. And I was reminded of in Pittsburgh, the city I grew up in, we have a large public library network of libraries in different neighborhoods. And they would use them for community mediation where they would have a room in the library and they would have the documents sent through the interlibrary loan system. So the way they would send books from library to library, they could send materials. And so I was curious if there are other locations or other ways to get technology to people that are on your list, like some schools are providing laptops to students, or are there other ways that technology might be delivered?
Yeah. We are going through a very difficult situation. For example, in Argentina, we have 40% poverty. Okay, this is our ratio. And there is a program from the government providing laptop to the school, to the students. But the problem is when the student change the laptop for a cell phone. Okay, and closing the digital gap, it's an issue very important in Latin America in general. We are talking now with a friend of us, Racheli in Israel. She's running his Agree Online program. And I have a group of people now that we will try to import the Agree Online idea to Latin America. And this is because of our ODR family. When we run this year in April, we ran our first ODR Exportage in Latin America. 3 chapters, English, Spanish, and Portuguese. It was a huge 5 days event online with 10 Ministers of Justice of different provinces explain how they proceed with ODR. The government was absolutely, of course we don't receive any penny from the government. Just their presence was a gift for us. And we trained the Supreme Court in Mendoza. All the Supreme Court mediator operators, and build these 3,000 mediators. We train in one shot, 1,700 lawyers belonging to our women's program in one project with 17 classrooms, online classrooms, with 100 students in each class. The day when we launched the program, the server collapsed because everybody was trying to get in at the same time, and the people calling from the Minister of Justice trying to kill us, because it was also a political issue. Here, the political issue runs, it's very important. One issue, Bill, that you bring to my mind, we create a cyber mediator registry, which is a list of mediators who has been trained for us in online mediation. And this is free. If they get their basic training, they are able to be part of the cyber mediator registry. Why? Because I was receiving a lot of phone calls. Someone from Mexico called me, Alberto, do you know a mediator in Chile? Because we need an ODR. Alberto, do you know some in Mexico? And then, okay, let's do the following. Create a web page and put all the names, the people that we, Maria Victoria, myself, and our team think that they have the ability to, that could be done, or could be produced, a reasonable ODR process, following ICODR recommendation also. And then we create this list. And now we are in the plan to promote through the region that they have the possibility to go to this list, what is the profile of each mediator with the cyber mediator feasibility. That's because we think that we have to build a labor field, which is a pending issue, to promote where the people who is trained by us have the possibility to make money. And we have to help them, because if not, we kill our own development.
I'm interested too in the work on labor strikes and mediation.
Yeah.
In the United States, there's since the pandemic, there's been more strikes and more activity where workers are saying we want better conditions. And so beginning to think about how do we communicate about these kinds of problems and make solutions.
I will be
Important.
very happy, Bills, to put you in contact with the government in Spain, and you could get info regarding their experiences, which is, it's a very good experience. They have been speaking at our ODR Expo Tech in April, telling all the labor mediation experience in Spain. I think, Noam, we are on time.
Perfectly on time. And I'll just say that Bill's final question and your final answer are such a good example of what I said at the beginning of our session today, when I said that Cyberweek is such a wonderful opportunity to just come out and, you know, reach out to people and everybody's so accessible. And Bill just asked you about, you know, labor mediation and, you know, tomorrow you're going to have him in touch with Spain's Minister of Labor. That's the kind of accessibility we're talking about. This was wonderful. Thank you so much, Maria Victoria, Alberto. It's so interesting to hear and compare sort of around the world the different but sometimes very, very similar experiences, like the waves of acceptance and resistance have. I can't help but wonder how things in some places I've lived and worked and known, such as Israel or the United States, what situation they would have been in 2020 if they had had ODR more deeply embedded into their systems and more expertise all around, and organizations that were in contact with government and were recognized with government in a way that is different than the way we had it set up in those places at that point in time. It might have made the whole transition.
You know, we are pushing a lot regarding the Singapore Mediation Convention. I was in Singapore during the signing ceremony, and this is regarding commercial issues. And now in Latin America, we have Colombia, Venezuela, Chile, Peru, Uruguay, Ecuador, and Paraguay. They already signed, and they will start working with Asia. This would be another opportunity for online mediation.
Wonderful, wonderful. And
can I just say
and Brazil, sorry.
I just wanted to thank Alberto. I know you've said this, but it needs to be said more than once that ODR Latin America really is ODR Alberto. And
Yeah.
maybe I will get him that domain name. But Alberto, always good to see you, and thanks very much for participating. But the truth is, I see Alberto's name come across the screen every week with some new project. So I don't. It's the incomparable ODR Alberto.
No, you know, Ethan, now I have a lot of students, friends, colleagues like Maria Victoria, involved in a lot of activities. And I will tell you something that I'm sure you don't remember. When I asked about going to Haifa 2009 without having any previous experience about ODR, because at that time for us was zero, I told I asked one guy who worked with you, what I'm gonna tell in this meeting, what I can tell, we don't have any experience. He told me, tell your dreams. And I keep this sentence, and I always try to tell my dreams. And I'm very happy to be here because I started with the Cyberweek, and also I run the Cyberweek in Spanish and Italian and Portuguese, and well, you know the story of a lot of Cyberweek. And we don't have here 200 people because this conference is in English. But there's a lot of effort put it in different languages. I know this effort is tremendous. And probably people who speak English are interested in other issues. But here we will leave our recording in order to tell our grandsons about today.
It will go.
We'll put your videos somewhere.
Huh?
I had to leave for a few minutes and I missed part of your video, but we'll put it up somewhere. I don't think there's anything else like it.
Send it to Leah or me, and we'll find a place for it. This is
Alberto, can you send the video to Noah?
This video, no, I have it.
no the video of Buenos Aires. Mediation
The video of the tango.
of the tango.
Yes.
Yes, of course, I will send it. Yeah. We have several videos. But you know, Noam, I present this video in Williamsburg.
I remember.
And I think, and keep very, very updated. Okay?
Yep.
Well, I will. Well, I will send it to Noam or to Leah. Don't worry about it.
No, we'll find a place for it on the resources on the ODR site. Let me since we are at time, I'll just highlight, your last thought, Alberto, which is, say what you dream, and I'm going to invite us to say what we dream, and sure, if you can say what you dream to Ethan Catch, that might make things happen, but even if you don't have an Ethan, so I find someone to say it to, and Ethan's, from your side, I can imagine what it feels like. How many people have shared their dreams with you, and here we are today.
Just a small out. I have to give a lecture next week to the Supreme Court of Cordoba, which is an important province in our country. And what I was doing yesterday, I was watching the video of Ethan, Orna, and regarding artificial intelligence, okay? I was watching what they are saying in order to try to reproduce regarding their approach, which is excellent. That's we are providing information to each other. Now, I'm listening to him and Orna in order to give a lecture next week here in Argentina. That's fantastic.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you both, and thank you everybody for attending. Let me just sort of lead out.
Thank you, Bill.
By saying that it's wonderful. It's wonderful to hear this talk and to think about the things we've thought about together. For those who weren't able to make it, the video will be available on the agenda. Tomorrow, hopefully, it'll be available on my YouTube channel as well. You can find it, and so too the videos from previous sessions of Cyberweek for those who haven't been able to hear them. I'll just say that we still have Cyber Week going on. This is, I think, the last session for today, I believe. We still have sessions tomorrow and Friday. Tomorrow, we have a very hopping.
We have on Friday from our book chapter.
That's
with,
right.
Maria Victoria.
Right.
Yes.
And tomorrow we have on ODR around the world. We have a student panel. We have a session on the evils of creepy artificial intelligence with Ben Davis. So there's a lot to come, and everybody is very, very welcome to join in. And with that,
Hold on, I need a picture
oh, picture
for
and then
our journal. Done. Okay.
thank you, everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Thank
care.
you.
Bye, bye.
Thank you, my friend. Take care.
Thanks so much. Thanks.